So, Florian, the last one of these we talked about OpenClaw. I got a bit scared, but also really optimistic about what it is that it can do. We're now at the point where we're just going to install it. So, this recording is going to be us basically messing around and finding out if we can make it work. This is the one that I'm most excited for. Could be the most interesting for people, could be an absolute car crash. We will see. We've already had all kinds of tech issues. We've had to move from Google Meets to Zoom in the hope that it captures both of our faces and the screen share. We're not sure if that works. So this whole thing could be a hit and a miss, and we might have to record it again, but
Yes,
hopefully not.
we'll see.
Today, we're going to go through how we're going to install OpenClaw, whether or not we're going to use hardware or we're going to host it on a VPS. We'll talk about those different things based on what we choose. We'll run through the install process. We'll get signed up to all the different accounts we need to sign up for. We'll spend the monies that we need to spend. You will make sure I don't share anything too incriminating on the internet. And we'll get OpenClaw up and running, installed. We will give it a name. I have a name in my mind for it already.
Good.
Hopefully, we'll get it all set up so that I can message it on WhatsApp and get a response, and that'll be it. That'll be the end of the recording.
Yeah,
Could take 20 minutes, could take 4 hours. I mean, it
we'll
can't take
see.
4 hours because we're recording this before work. So like we have to get it done so that we can both work. But yeah, I say let's get cracking. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready. My goal is for you to have a chat window with a bot that says hello to you and you can chat with it. So we'll see if we get there.
Okay. I'm really sorry in advance for the pain that this is going to cause you, and for all
Oh, not
developers,
at
or
all.
specifically like developers who've had time in IT support or any IT support who are watching. They're going to cringe so much throughout this video as you're like guiding me where to click. But let's get started. I think let's get the kind of decisions out of the way so we can get really
Yeah,
cracking into the install. So I think we've landed on, for me, we're going to install OpenClaw not on a machine, but on a VPS, which, if I'm right, stands for Virtual Private Server. Is that correct?
right. It's basically a computer that you rent that's somewhere on the internet.
And so the
So,
thinking behind this is I don't have to have something consistently plugged in and working. For a lot of people,
right.
this technology is available. You don't have to buy a device. Obviously, a MacBook, sorry, not a MacBook, a Mac Mini is, I think currently it's like £400, maybe cheaper. Maybe you can get them cheaper on Amazon, but they're
Yeah.
also difficult to get hold of. For a lot of people, I think accessing this technology, it's like, oh, I have to buy a machine. It doesn't seem like you have to do that. You can just spin up a VPS. We'll need some subscriptions and things like that. What's I guess what are the considerations with doing it on a virtual private server in a cloud somewhere rather than on a device? What are the things you have to think about,
Well,
Florian?
a lot of people use a Mac Mini because they're already in the Mac ecosystem and they just sign it into an iCloud account and can very easily share their calendars and reminders lists and all that sort of stuff. But you can get it working on a VPS as well and give it all the access it needs. It's probably a bit more security conscious even because it's a separate, isolated machine that only you have access to on the internet versus a device that's in your local network and has all the access that you have on your computer, right? So it's a bit more, it's easier to manage and to control the security boundaries, I'd say.
Okay.
If we ever get to a point where you say, okay, I'd like it to do this and that, and we can't do that on a VPS, there are ways to transfer it to your Mac Mini if you want to run it on local hardware. There's even the possibility to just tell it, hey, I'm moving you to another machine, export everything that I need and give me a downloadable zip file, and then you know. So yeah, I'd say it's an easy and fast start to just spin up a VPS and have it running there and see how far we get.
I think I've learned from a security standpoint that separation is quite often useful. So I think when we were talking about a device versus a VPS, for me, I liked the idea of just being able to spin it up and sign up for subscriptions and get it working and not have to worry about a device and having it powered on and things like that. But also, it did, I understood that because it's not attached to my stuff, I have to give it more conscious access to my stuff, and that means it's less likely to go wrong. So I think that's why we landed on a VPS together, um, which hopefully makes total sense. I guess we're going to be using, I think, let's talk about the tech stack that we're going to be using. So the things that we sign into to have accounts for, my understanding is we need somewhere that can act as a provider and host for the VPS, and then the VPS itself. We also need an account for a language model so that we can actually plug Claude into a language model
Right.
and it can use that language model. So I think we need something like Forge and then a VPS within Forge. So Laravel Forge and then a VPS within Forge.
Yeah.
Something like a Claude subscription, just a base level Claude subscription. So can you talk me through the things that we need? And then I'll ask
Yeah.
you how much they're
So
going to cost.
I think Forge is a good option because A, we know the people that set it up, and B,
Yeah.
it's really easy because you don't have to do a lot of stuff yourself to set up an OpenClaw machine because it
Mm-hmm.
gives you the option like, do you want a web server? Do you want a database server? Or do you want an OpenClaw server? And then it just installs everything for you and drops you right into the onboarding flow of OpenClaw. So that should take like 5 minutes and you're done. Let's hope. We'll see. You can, of course, run it on anything, right? You can go directly to DigitalOcean or AWS or Hetzner, one of the many server providers. This is just the one we're using because I know it's really easy and I've done it a couple of times. Yes, then you need some kind of subscription to a large language model provider. There is the option to go for directly OpenAI, ChatGPT, or Anthropic, which is Claude, basically. You can also go to one of the meta providers like OpenCode Zen, where you fill up credits with them and they sort of act as a gateway to multiple models that they provide. So you just sign up with them, and then you can use OpenAI models, Anthropic models, Kimi, which is I think a Chinese model. There are a lot of them. There are dozens of models that you can use. I played around with it when I first installed my bot and quickly came to the conclusion to keep it simple because that's just better for my style of working with it. And I just subscribe to Anthropic and use Opus 4.6, and that's it for everything.
Mm.
And that works for me. You can, if you want to, you can go to one of the meta providers and tell it to run all the background tasks with this, cheaper model and run all coding tasks with OpenAI Codex because people are saying that's the best model for programming tasks, and use Opus to talk to me in the main thread because Opus has the most character and is the most funny. I don't know. I don't even want to think about it in that way. I just use Opus for everything because it works for me. Your mileage may vary, but I think that's a good
Okay.
starting point.
So if I explain, so having done ops for a little bit, my brain thinks in bubbles and arrows. So the way I understand this is we basically need somewhere for the code that is OpenClaw to live. And then when
Mhm.
I interact with OpenClaw, I send hopefully a WhatsApp message that goes to the wherever that's hosted. That then sends to the language model to interpret that, and then the language model gives that code back what that is, or any commands, or like tells it to use skills and things like that. But basically, the bubbles are somewhere for OpenClaw to live, somewhere for OpenClaw to get its intelligence from, which is the language
Yes,
models. And that's it, right? So we need a
exactly.
provider for where it lives and a provider for its brain. And then the link to WhatsApp is literally just like a message, although I imagine it's not a message, but I don't know. So the bubbles are WhatsApp, OpenClaw Home, brain, and those are the three kind of bubbles that this thing lives in and exists in. And we
Exactly.
could do it on a machine, but we're going to do it on a virtual cloud instead. But we still need a brain, we still need a language model, I think so you mentioned there you can do this a couple of ways. You can pick one of the brains, or you can work with a service that has access to all the brains and then uses all the different brains. I think we're going to keep this as simple as possible. So I use Claude quite a lot. So I think we'll just stick with the brain that is Claude and the brain that is Anthropic. We'll get a place for OpenClaw to live. I've got my WhatsApp. I think when we spoke before, you were saying you were using Telegram. You don't actually use WhatsApp and stuff, so you've never actually seen
Yeah, we'll
OpenClaw
figure
set
it
up on
out.
WhatsApp, which is awesome. So we're both going to learn. But essentially, the three bubbles are OpenClaw Home, Language Model Brain, link to WhatsApp. We'll go through that today. We'll get that all set up, and then hopefully I'll be talking to it at the end via WhatsApp. We probably won't share my WhatsApp because I can't figure out how to like do all the messages, but I have my phone, and the goal for me is to be able to get a text message, send a text message, and hopefully capture my slight amusement, because I imagine I'll probably find that quite cool when that happens.
Um, there's also there's like a way for you to chat with your bot on the terminal, which we will get into because that's where the onboarding happens. So you don't have to share your WhatsApp to be able to share messages that the bot sends you on
Okay.
your answers. So we can show that. And yeah, the WhatsApp part. Fun fact: OpenClaw actually started as a project called WhatsApp Relay because it was just a simple idea. Peter was like, hey, if I'm working on my computer on some coding tasks and I need to go to the kitchen to, I don't know, fetch some food, I want to see what's happening or if my coding tasks need any input. So he wrote a relay server of large language model input output to his WhatsApp. And from there, it sort of developed in this whole bot that we have here now with like memory and a heartbeat, like where it wakes up and does stuff proactively. But in its simplest form, it was just a relay between large language model and WhatsApp, basically.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
so I think that's
I
pretty cool.
know a lot of developers that won't use WhatsApp, and they'll use Signal and all kinds of other, and Telegram and all kinds of other messaging apps. Like for me, I use WhatsApp every day in my personal life. Everyone I know does. So I think if we stick with WhatsApp,
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
there's a ton of normies that use WhatsApp. So it's
Yeah,
good to hear that
but
that's where it started, because that
you
means that
can
hopefully it'll be effective.
you can connect it to all sorts of things, right?
Cool.
Like we said, I use it a ton in our company Slack because I have a
Mm.
bot connected to that and works beautifully. But yeah, you can even connect it to multiples if you want to.
Yeah.
You're not
Okay.
restricted
Well,
to one.
let's start with WhatsApp and then see
Yes.
where we get with WhatsApp. Okay. All right. So what do I need to do first? I guess if we tick off the bubble, I think in terms of cost, subscription, like do you we did a bit of research before. Forge is going to cost us about $12 a month. The server itself will cost us anywhere from $24 to $30 a month, and then a Claude subscription will cost us $20 a month. So we're looking at around about 60, $70 a month to
Hmm.
get this thing up and running. Obviously, I'm going to use my personal card, so we won't share that. We'll get it up and running. But I think I will keep updating as we go. How is that in terms of cost? Do we need to spend more because it needs more power from the brain, etc., etc.? But I think we're looking at about 60, $70 a month in subscriptions at first. So I'll stick it on the good old Amex or one of the other credit cards, and we'll see how we get on. Where do
Right.
I go to first? I guess if I share my screen, I can literally just start in Google Chrome, and you can tell me where to go. So can you
Yes.
see my screen? Okay. Is that working? Okay.
Yes, that's working.
Perfect. Okay,
I'd
where do I
say
go?
just go to forge.laravel.com and create a new account.
Web is your frontier. Okay, so where am I clicking? This is the fun moment where developers are going to be like, "What are you doing?" And normies are going to be like, "What is this?" I guess log in.
Uh, yeah, you
Oh,
need to create an account. Yeah,
create
right.
account. Okay. Okay, so at this bit, I'm going to skip this so you don't see my email. Okay, so we can now go back into the recording. So we skipped the bit where it ended all of basically it just asked for email address, password, verify my email. So we're now at this bit. This is set up a server provider. I guess I'm going to continue with Laravel VPS.
Yeah, go for it.
Nice. Okay. Interesting.
Um,
Okay. So
you don't need a Git provider.
so I
Skip
can
it.
skip for now.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things for normies is GitLab. Everyone who's a developer has a GitHub sign in where all of their repositories are stored. I have one because I've deployed to cloud at work and like tried to understand it all, but I'm not sure I'd want to connect it. So as a normie, we're just gonna skip that. So we don't need a GitLab. Awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's given me a subscription plan growth, $19 a month, 5%
Uh,
discount on a VPS.
you can see more plan options and choose the hobby one because yeah, that's all we
Okay,
need. Unlimited Laravel
okay.
VPS servers. Choose
Let's
that
update
one.
that. Let's continue.
Probably needs your credit card data now, so we're gonna
It does. So at this
skip
part, we
this
will
part
stop
as
the
well.
recording. So we will edit this out. So we got through the credit card details and then we're back online and it's saying you're all set, create your first server or go to your dashboard. So I'm guessing I'm just going to create my first server.
Do it.
Cool.
Choose a
Stunning
name
Briars is this
or
thing?
just go or generate a new one. Um it has funny ones in there.
Let's do limitless dust. I like
Yeah, I
limitless
agree.
dust. Okay, continue. And just Laravel VPS,
Yeah,
continue.
just go. And then as a type, open the type drop down and scroll all the way to the bottom. OpenClaw
Oh,
server.
wow.
There we
Okay.
go.
And then I choose my region.
Probably London. Yeah. Yeah, leave it like it is. We'll go with yeah, $25 a month. That's
Yeah,
fine.
would small be not sufficient then?
Yeah, if you read the orange text below, it says OpenClaw requires at least 4 gigs of memory. So we don't allow the smallest version.
That's one
Don't
of
need
them.
any
That's
of
one.
the advanced.
Okay, that's one of them moments where technical people are face palming because it's literally on the screen in front of me and I didn't
Well,
read it, and you have to
that's
read it out loud.
a user interface problem, right? Maybe this warning should be on top.
Okay, so you would have seen a cut in the video there, and that's because when I clicked create, what happened is it provided me with a password to my server that we're not going to share with the internet, but I've taken a note of that. So when you get to that point, you copy it, you paste it somewhere like a password manager or in a notepad that no one else can see, and then it takes you to the screen. Thank you, Florian, for pointing out
Exactly.
to me that that was about to be leaked. So it says it did say Taylor would be proud, which is very
Yeah,
nice. I'm
there's
not
just
sure.
a few.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure Taylor from Laravel would be proud of me as a non-tech, but I love the
Who
little
knows?
random
Who
random
knows?
bits. Okay, cool. So what do we do now? It's provisioning server. We just wait.
Um,
It says wait five
yeah,
minutes.
it's
Are these details that I shouldn't be sharing? Do you think?
well, it doesn't really matter. Maybe the IP address could be considered, but I don't think so because yeah, it's a server on the internet, like
Hmm.
what do you care what the IP address is? There's always going to be
Okay.
people trying to hack into it, but I think it's a pretty secure by default setup that the guys
Okay.
created for Laravel VPS, so it's fine. Yeah, so now it's basically running through the install process, installing all the dependencies. Uh, it takes, yeah, as it says, about 5 minutes. Once that's done, you're just going to be dropped into the onboarding right here on this web interface where it walks you through setting up your basically your communication channel and your large language model provider. And
Hmm.
that's going to be it. I'd say we can probably shorten this by cutting out a bit in the middle here.
Yeah. Or whilst this is happening, we can sign up for. Can you see a new Google window?
Yes.
Okay, so I think we've done where the bot's going to live with both Forge and a Laravel VPS. So why don't we sign up to Claude? So do I just go Anthropic,
Claude.ai.
Claude.ai.
Mhm.
There we go. Maybe I'll include any screens that need instructions. So Continue with Google. Okay, which subscription plan are we using? We're definitely not using free.
Yeah,
I guess
you'll run out of
Pro.
tokens pretty quickly. I'd use the Pro, and if you need more, you can
We
upgrade
can do
at
more.
any. There we go.
Okay, so back on recording. We had some kerfuffle with signing up. I purchased a subscription. It wouldn't let me then go past the subscription selection screen, even though I'd been charged for it. We managed to get in. We're now in. So we've got Claude dashboard, and it looks like OpenClaw happening in the Forge thing. That's already completely intimidating to me because it's in a terminal. So Florian, what do we do next? I've got Claude. I've got
S-
somewhere for OpenClaw to live. I've got the brain. Help.
right, stay on this screen.
Okay.
Make sure you read that and understand it. Maybe, I don't know, screenshot it and read it later, but uh, this is just to make sure that you understand that this is potentially security. Um, yeah, there are potential security issues with running this, of course, because you're giving a large language model access to your stuff, right? Um,
Mm.
little less intimidating running it on a VPS because by default it doesn't have access to anything other than your large language model subscription. But once you know give it more access to your life, which is the part that makes it more useful, you just gotta understand that there are inherent risks associated with that. For now, go on yes, I understand by
So before we do, because this is the bit where a lot of people would freak out, right?
mhm,
What's this stuff? Recommended baseline. You're going to navigate me through these, is that correct? So you're
yes.
going to make sure that these are all done. Okay, cool. And then this, I imagine, is just a way of regularly checking to make sure no one's doing anything dodgy. By no one, I mean the agent itself, or
Yeah.
someone else. Okay. So I'm going to click. Because it's a
Uh,
terminal, you don't
yeah,
click, you use your
you don't
keyboard. So
click.
yes. So you move across and click enter. Which one do we
Let's
want to do?
go to manual because we want to
You
go through
sure?
all of the steps. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, click enter. You want
So
to run
local
the gate.
gateway.
Yeah, accept the default workspace directory. Don't
Okay.
really
Enter.
care. So
Okay,
here we go.
so Anthropic.
Yes, choose this
So I
one
click
because you just set up
enter.
one. Mhm. Um, yeah, we probably want to do that because you want to use your subscription. So copy the bit that says code setup token.
This bit.
Yeah, just this one.
So what do I want to do? Just copy that.
Yes. Keep it in your
Yep.
clipboard. And then
Yep.
now you sort of have to install Cloud Code on your machine and open a terminal. I'm sorry. Go back to the other tab where
Okay.
you've got your Anthropic account
Would
signed in.
would we have to do this if I did the quick start? Would this still be a thing? I imagine
Yeah.
this would still be a thing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right. 1 second. Here on the bottom it says build faster with Cloud Code. So I guess that's if you click on the get started, that's a direct link to installing Cloud Code. Yeah, if you scroll down a bit where it says native install recommended. All right, so we need this first. Copy this. And
Oh, that
now,
means I haven't got the old thing is not on my clipboard anymore.
yeah,
That's okay
that's all right.
though. Okay.
Now open your terminal and share it with me, and then I can walk you through it.
Okay. So this is the bit that many people are going to be uncomfortable with saying, can I share terminal? There we go. So can you
All
see my
right.
terminal?
Yes. Now paste that bit in and let it install Cloud
And then
Code.
click enter.
Yeah.
So what we're doing here is usually when a normie would install an app on their computer, they would go to the App Store, they would go to the website, hit download. it opens up this funny little thing called a package installer, which then basically installs that app onto their machine. This is a way of doing that for Claude Code, but using the terminal. Is that right?
Yes. So it
Okay,
literally downloads an install script and executes it, which in turn installs the application for you.
cool. It
Don't
doesn't look like it's
know.
doing anything though.
Yeah, don't know why it takes so long.
Is it doing anything?
Mhm. Yeah,
Hey, there we
here
go.
we go.
So I messed around with the terminal when I was deploying something to cloud a week or so ago, Laravel Cloud, and luckily it means I'm not like entirely filled with fear when I open this, but it's still a little bit, yeah, a little bit intimidating to look at. It's just text on a page. We're so used
But
to this
yeah,
app world where you're interacting with like nice UIs and stuff. When you go back to text like this, you think you can break a thing.
no, I mean, yes, but if you go into your app folder and delete all of the apps, you can easily break things as well, right? So I don't.
Very true.
uh,
Okay. So it says it's installed. So can I close this now?
No. Now we need to run whatever you had in your clipboard before. If you look back into Chrome, I think it was Cloud Setup Token. Yes, exactly.
Enter.
Enter.
But when I press enter, isn't this going to give me something that we're going to need to stop
It
sharing anyway?
will, it will give you a token. We can show the whole process of you copying the token and putting it in. You can later revoke the token and use a new one. So that's not something anybody
Okay.
can do anything with. Oh, right. Of course. Can you open a new terminal window? Oh, wait. Yeah, we need what it says in the setup notes. Can you copy paste the last line under setup notes, the echo and all that part? Yes. And run it here in your terminal. Yeah, and then close the other tab again and open it again, because now it has the configuration. So open new tab.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Why is it?
actually,
It
no.
doesn't.
I'm sorry. We don't need to. It already
Oh,
stores
okay.
the config file, so you should be able to run the cloud setup token here now. Yeah, there we go. Um,
Oh, it just opened up.
yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
just
It's doing
gives
some
you a
things.
browser where you say,
Yeah.
okay,
So
authorize.
it's okay. So let's show this, right? Because it's opened up. So it's opened up with this, and it's also come up with a pop-up on my machine that you can't see, which is terminal would like to access files on a network volume. Do I allow that?
Yeah, allow it.
Okay. And then I click authorize.
Yeah, and that will give you your token that you need. So you can close that again, and in the terminal you'll see the token that we paste back into OpenClaw.
Okay, so in the terminal, like this yellow text,
You gotta share your terminal again.
this yellow text,
Yes, exactly. That's
copy
your
that.
token. We're gonna revoke the token later after the video, so nobody else can use your subscription. But we're gonna show it for now, just to make it clear to everyone. Right
So now I go
now,
back to
yeah, show
the
your Forge page again, and the rest is gonna happen in there. Right. So click enter here, and then it'll say paste token now. So just paste it, or maybe you need to, yeah, you need to press enter on paste token now, I think. Yeah, there we go. Right, enter. Token name default is fine, just enter. Default model, I would choose Opus 4.6. bit more. Yeah, this one. Sure. Nice. Let's take it. Yeah, just enter. All the defaults are fine here. Yes. Don't need tail scale.
So talk us through these. So what's the gateway port? That's just the port for
Um,
the gateway on the internet.
no, that's actually the gateway that runs internally. So the connection between the large language model and the gateway part is what talks to your WhatsApp then. So
Cool.
that's
And
the
then,
process that runs on the server that connects your chat interface with your LLM, basically.
so that gateway port, gateway bind, they're the details, they're the configuration of that. And then the authentication is that you do want to enter a password every time or just use the token, which we've done
Yeah,
here.
and
And then
yeah, right.
what's tail scale? What's tail scale
Uh,
exposure?
Tailscale is a VPN service where you could sort of privately over the internet connect to your machine, which might be helpful for some advanced stuff, but in this case, your interface will be your WhatsApp chat, right? So
Okay.
that's how
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
interact with the bot. So you don't need it.
Okay.
Yeah, just pick the default here as well.
And what's this? How do you want to just
Yeah,
plain text token? Gateway token?
blank to generate. So just press enter again. It'll generate a token. Right. So now we need to configure the chat channel. Pick yes and go to WhatsApp. Yep. And that's uncharted territory. As I said, I never did that before. Did it pop up a web page or something? No, it
No.
didn't. Okay. Let me actually ask my bot how this is supposed to work because it says QR link here. So maybe there's something we need to do in your WhatsApp. Oh, here we go. Link WhatsApp now. Yeah, I think it just took a while.
So I clicked yes. So scan
Yeah,
this WhatsApp in linked devices, link a device. Okay. Logging in. Keep WhatsApp open on both devices.
that was really easy.
This is my personal number. We need the sender owner number so OpenClaw can allow list you. Okay, so this bit I'll stop sharing. WhatsApp. So it come up with WhatsApp personal phone mode enabled. DM policy set to allow list, pairing skipped, allow from includes, and then my phone number. And now it's saying
Okay.
select channel. So shall I just go down to finished? Because we don't need any other channels.
Yeah, just go down to finished. And then I think you can share again because your number scrolled off screen, right?
Not quite. It will do shortly. I wonder if I can. I can't shrink the screen. It needs a couple more enters.
All right, what's the next question?
So it says search provider, Brave Search, Gemini, Grok, Kimi, Perplexity, skip for now.
Skip for now. We can set that up later with the help of the bot
Okay.
itself.
It says configure skills now. So it says
Um,
skills status, eligible 5, missing requirements 40, unsupported on this OS 7, blocked by allow list 0. And then it says configure skills now. Yes or
no,
no?
do it later.
Okay. And then enable hooks, skip for now, bootmd, bootstrap extra files, command logger, session
Yeah.
memory.
Um,
In fact, I can share my
you
screen
can,
now
yeah, you can
because
probably
yeah.
share again.
Okay, so
I would.
we had to cut the video a little bit because it was showing my number on stuff and walk through a couple of things, but we just clicked enter and then we got to this point. So enable hooks.
I would probably enable all 4 of those. Yeah. I mean, the extra files we don't really need, but we don't have any. So, enabling means you navigate to it with your cursor keys and then press space to toggle it on or off. Right.
That one as
Yeah.
well.
Let's go with that. Yep. That's cool.
And then enter.
Enter. Install gateway service. Yes, this is sort of taking care of keeping the service, the program running on your server, so it's always available. So we want that. Yeah. It's the option anyway.
Clearly doing something.
Yeah, it should start the gateway service in the background, and once it comes back healthy, there we go. Yes, pick this option because that will sort of let you talk to your bot in this terminal. So we stay right here where we are. Request rejected. Need to accept the terms in Cloud AI with the email in status to continue. Oh, it says you need to accept the terms in Cloud AI. So you probably need to do that in the browser. I'm sorry, I didn't properly read all of that. So you need to go to cloud.ai in your browser and accept some terms of service there.
Just hit accept. So can we rerun that?
Just type hello and press enter. There we go.
So now I start talking to it.
This is your
So
new
now I
bot.
say, I am Ben. You are Holly. So just press enter.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Ben, Holly it is. I like it. Well, you have to because you're a computer. What time zone are you in? UK, London. Time zone. Vibe is all good. Anything you're working on?
Well, let's just maybe ask it.
Recording
Can
a web series with an SRE expert who is helping me install you. I am a complete normie and cannot do developer stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
All good.
Gives it a baseline. And then I'd say just ask it to send you a message on WhatsApp.
Send me a message on WhatsApp saying hello. So I'll keep things plain English, no jargon. And if you or your SRE thread want me to do anything to show off what I can do, just say the word. If there's anything you want to try out, send me a message on WhatsApp saying hello. Send. I'd love to, but WhatsApp isn't connected yet. I'll tackle that while you're recording. Make a great segment. Sure.
Tell it we already connected it. So maybe it's just not aware of the config. Just didn't check before. Well, it's a new bot, It's sort of like a small child, maybe.
Well, but so this is interesting. So did it check and there's something wrong, or did it not check and now that I've told it, it is checking?
I think the latter. See,
Wow.
you're right.
Let me say hello.
And now you'll get a message on your WhatsApp, hopefully.
Try to reach out to you on WhatsApp. So here's the thing. WhatsApp is connected, but we don't have a WhatsApp conversation started yet. I can't cold message you, so try this. Send me a message on WhatsApp to the number that's linked.
So
if I send myself
Yeah, probably since you chose the same number, you'll be sort
Hey,
of
Holly.
talking to yourself on WhatsApp. I think there are ways to give it its own number, so you actually talk not to
Oh my
yourself,
God.
which is
Oh my God. I said, hey, Holly, can you see this? Something's typing. That's weird. Hey, Ben, I can see you loud and clear. I notice I've still got my bootstrap.md hanging around. Looks like we already went through the intro, though, since I've got my name, identity, and your details. Want me to go ahead and delete that bootstrap file? We're past that stage now.
can you show
Do
it to
I
the
say yes?
camera? Or is there anything?
Can you see that?
There we go. Yeah, great.
That's creepy as hell.
Yeah, tell it to delete the bootstrap file. You ran through the onboarding.
Yes.
Anything else you want to set up, you just do it via chat. You ask it to help you set it up and go from there.
This is mad. So it's like it is now writing back. So I can do everything through WhatsApp now. I don't have to do anything through the terminal.
Yeah, you can close everything on your browser and yeah,
So
you're
that's
done.
it. It's all set up.
It is.
That's mad. Okay. So I guess in the next record, so let me stop sharing my screen. So I guess in the next recording, it's still typing, done, bootstrap file gone, we're fully set up now. What can I help you with?
Blank
I don't want
slate.
to give anything yet. Okay. So from now on, I can just talk to it through that. I imagine after the
Yes.
video, we need to quickly regenerate some that token thing so that people on the
Yeah,
internet
we'll
can't
just give it a
steal
new
it.
token and revoke
Yeah.
that one that we showed on the screen, but
Um,
that's easy.
but that's it. That's up and running. So we've purchased a subscription to Laravel Forge and a virtual private server. We installed Claude in that, and because of where we purchased that stuff, there's actually already an option in Laravel VPS to just install OpenClaw. So we didn't have to copy paste anything. We could just go ahead. We went through some technical instructions. We also purchased a subscription to Claude, and then we've hooked up that brain. So we now have OpenClaw living on my virtual server in Laravel Forge with its brain living in Anthropic, and
Yeah,
we've connected it to my WhatsApp. So now I can just message it and start asking it to do stuff.
exactly.
Nice. Okay, so maybe in the next video we start talking about what can it actually do and how can I start getting it to do stuff. But I love the fact that it's
Right.
already like talking to me on WhatsApp. It's also like it'd be good if we can get it set up as a separate chat where it's got its own
Yeah,
personality
we'll
in my
see.
phone and stuff like that. So I can maybe I can ask it to do that, and then in the next video I can update you on what it said.
Great.
But yeah, it's all installed. That's awesome. I have an OpenClaw. It's terrifying. It doesn't have access to anything yet, right? So it can't do
It
anything.
just
Let's just
has
say,
access to your cloud subscription. So the only thing it can do right now is burn your tokens, you know. That's a pretty easy
okay,
setup, I think, for the start. And the rest is that's your personal AI bot now and talk to it and get acquainted.
okay, okay. Let's stop the recording there, and we'll see how we get on in the next video. Thanks very much, Florian. If
All
you want
right.
to click stop record, that's awesome. Thanks, man.